There's a movie that has Robert De Niro, Ludacris, Jon Bon Jovi, and former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg in it. Anyways, let me tell you a story about it. So it's the holiday season, and since I covered a Christmas movie last year, I wanted to cover a movie about a holiday we all celebrate and then literally forget the next day, New Year's Eve. Did you know there's a movie about this holiday that features every actor that your mom knows the marriage history of? And Jake T. Austin. This movie, appropriately titled New Year's Eve, was directed by Gary Marshall, the guy who brought us Pretty Woman and Pretty Woman for Kids, Princess Diaries, a movie that kicks all sorts of ass, and this movie, which is all sorts of ass. This is technically the second movie in an unofficial trilogy of rom-coms with an ensemble cast, it going Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve, and for some reason we end off with Mother's Day, because we love moms. And if you think I'm forgetting the movie Love Actually, I am not. That movie was directed by a different person. Now, since it's the holiday season and Kevin's wearing a little hat because he's cold, I was telling Kevin earlier, I first became aware of this movie when my family went on a cruise to celebrate my grandparents' 50th anniversary. And we went on New Year's, so they were playing this movie on the first night. And I gotta say, I just fell in love with how cheesy this movie was. So when we went on a family cruise 5 years later, I wanted to make this video on said cruise, but then I remembered I was on vacation, so I didn't. So I'm back in my basement that always looks like it's being refurbished. And don't worry about my basement. Kevin's just wearing a hat because he thought it looked cute. Oh my God, this movie is atrocious. Let me explain why. I mean, starting off with this movie opens up with a song that tops that prayer montage in War Room as the worst song in a movie I've ever covered. This is what people think Imagine Dragons sounds like.
Some people swear there's no beauty left in the world, no magic. Then how do you explain the entire world coming together on one night to celebrate the hope of a new year?
That has got to be the cheesiest opening line to a movie ever.
This is Claire Morgan. She's in charge.
So something you're going to notice with this movie is that every celebrity ever is in it. Also, side note from editing Tony here, my copy of the movie has this weird bar over it that makes everything look Cronenberg. So treat it as the bar of quality that this movie could barely cross. Literally what prompted her to do this. Anyways, we have Syonide alumni Zac Efron in this movie too. Also, the copy of this movie I used to write the script was so low quality to the point that I was squinting trying to figure out which celebrity I was looking at. So something fun about this movie is that there are like 13 different subplots that are all happening at once. So I'm gonna do my best to mark where we're at, and I'm also gonna not even bring up some because they suck. This is subplot 2 where Seth Meyers and Jessica Biel are fighting against Sarah Paulson until whatever his last name is to give birth, as whoever gives birth to the first baby of 2012 gets $25,000.
This could pay off my student loan.
In what universe? Subplot 3, Ashton Kutcher hates New Year's Eve.
What are you still on this anti-New Year's kick, bro? Get over yourself now.
Not a kick. It's a core tenet of my being.
His character is literally written to be as cliche as possible.
Okay, I'm gonna find something so epic that you will not be able to say no.
Well, Zach, I gave you the epic opportunity of an epic interview and you didn't respond to my epic emails, did you, Zachary? Subplot 4 that I'm not gonna bring up that much, wedding.
I got that big speech tonight.
What about the girl?
What girl?
The one you met last New Year's Eve? Are you gonna meet her tonight?
It was a year ago. We've all moved on.
I have a feeling they're gonna run into each other. Also, this guy's plot is so boring, he's gonna be in the video for like 1 minute total. Even though he has one of the longest plots in the entire movie. I'm gonna spoil it now. He meets up with this girl again. Don't act mad, you didn't even know this movie existed like 4 minutes ago. Subplot 5, kitchen. If you wanted the information, Laura is making the food for this big New Year's Eve party that is gonna have this huge music star Jensen play, who is played by Jon Bon Jovi. Oh my God, look, it's Jensen.
If you see him, tell him to avoid the blonde in the kitchen with the really big knife.
Good to see you, Laura.
I know we're gonna find out later why this happened, but this feels so unprompted. Subplot, I didn't even write anything about this down. Max from Wizards of Waverly Place is in this movie. She wants a big New Year's Eve kiss with Max. That's the whole subplot.
Do you even know how to kiss? They have a video on the internet that shows you how. 2, one for regular kissing and one for passionate kissing.
Apparently there are only 2 videos on the internet in this movie, so I'm so glad to be the third one. Subplot 1 revolves around Claire, our main character, who is trying to get the ball drop working. She gives this speech at some point in the movie that intertwines everyone, but she's the only really important one to the story. The reason I say that is because this movie is so long and takes so long to set up anything to happen that I felt like I was gonna fall asleep watching it. And the movie knows this because they are praying to God that you react to scenes like this.
I know he's playing some party, but this is Times Square.
She's a little on edge today.
Ready for the confetti test.
Oh my God, Luke.
Don't just dump them. Float them in the wind. It should be magical.
I'm so glad you're here.
Also, as I mentioned, my family was watching Designated Survivor in the same room, and I admit I may have started to watch Designated Survivor in place of this movie because there was stuff happening on their screen as compared to my thing being, oh my God, Sofia Vergara. Also, I'm gonna be as blunt as possible with you. I really did not enjoy this movie that much. I still enjoyed it enough because I'm covering it and I don't cover movies I hate, but this is a special sort of bad. To the point that I think this exchange could summarize the entire movie.
What? Because it's New Year's Eve, you want another shot at it? You walked out on me, Daniel. I think that says it all. You know, I didn't even get to make you one dinner in that apartment.
Hey babe, can we please make up? No, you murdered my daughter! Please, that was last year. Besides, it's New Year's. You're right, babe, I knew you'd come around. Wait, holy shit, is that Halle Berry?
Hey guys, it's me, Halle Berry.
I'd also like to point out that this is hitting celebrity movie bingo. New York, end of year bonus, terrible disinterested boss, celebrities. Christmas, I just said that so I could hit a bingo.
I wanted to use my bonus to book a trip.
Well, that might get you to Staten Island.
So she can start dating Pete Davidson. Oh, also, this is like subplot like 18 or whatever it is. Long story short, MILF Michelle Pfeiffer wants to achieve her New Year's resolutions that she hasn't achieved yet, and only Zac Efron can help her get that because she has tickets to the insane party and Zac Efron wants to invite Ashton Kutcher to it. There you go. That's more context than you need.
I'll take 2 weeks and my stapler. I quit.
You can't quit. It's Grammy season.
Also, I've never brought this up on camera, but this might finally beat Rubber as the worst movie I've ever seen. For reference, Rubber is a movie about a killer tire that explodes people's heads.
And it somehow manages to be the most pretentious movie ever made. I keep getting sidetracked, sorry. Rubber is still worse than New Year's Eve. Oh, let's get back to it.
I almost died today, sir.
No, you fucking didn't. You jumped in front of a car and then did a barrel roll into the nearest trash can. What do you mean you almost died?
3 stars. I need 3 stars.
Oh, and it's time for the best subplot. Subplot like 17. Robert De Niro is dying. This was the plot point that stuck with me the first time I watched this movie. Robert De Niro is a man who is dying of cancer, and his dying wish is to watch the New Year's ball drop. And I shit you not, he dies immediately after it drops. But how do we get there?
There really isn't anyone we can notify. No one at all. The only people who ever cared about me, I pissed off long ago. There's no one.
They have literally given me zero reason to care about any character in this movie.
I've been hanging on this long just so I can see the ball drop one more time.
I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but does literally anyone remember the ball drop after it happens? Like the next day I forget that it happened.
No, it's cold out there. I'll live.
No, he won't.
Well, is he gonna make it until tomorrow?
It's doubtful.
Oh my God, he's gonna die. Are they gonna let him see the ball drop? I hope so.
Another thing that chaps my ass.
Never mind. So Mr. I Hate New Year's and new girl from 5B who needs to be somewhere gets stuck in an elevator together. Man, I sure hope Ashton doesn't fall in love with the magic of Christmas. I mean, New Year's. The magic of New Year's.
You want me to come in on New Year's Eve at midnight and perform a C-section?
Is it New Year's?
We were never really New Year's people. You know, we're kind of more Memorial Day people.
Seth Meyers is literally the only reason I even remotely care about this plot point. A little bit of lore, I really like Seth Meyers, but I've almost never seen him outside of the context of Late Night or Saturday Night Live. But you wanna know the only time I've seen the man outside of the context of Late Night? My high school's library once had an advertisement of him holding Catch-22 with the word RAIN plastered. I love Seth, but who on earth thinks Seth Meyers is gonna be the reason kids start to read?
I need you to help me convince Laura that I made a mistake.
When?
It was last New Year's Eve.
That was last year. The joke earlier about, oh, I murdered your daughter, but that was last year. Get over it. That was a joke I wrote. I didn't realize this all happened 1 year ago.
What did you do to her?
Nothing. I asked her to marry me.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, but then I got cold feet because I wasn't ready for it.
It's horrible.
So you're telling me Jensen proposed to Laura and then got cold feet after he proposed? The cold feet should be why he doesn't propose, not after you propose. What the hell?
I'm ready to commit. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready to commit to what I really love. My work.
No, she's a busy businesswoman and he's a busy rock star. No! We'll get back to this at some point. Anyways, this movie is throwing too much at us, so we're gonna do a speed run where I mark down the funniest moments. Asterisk. Max has a ridiculous New York accent in this movie.
I think she left her cell phone at home. She gotta go out tonight.
More bad transition music. I don't even think an AI could generate a script like this.
Piper's mom, she hides in the bushes every day just to make sure that Piper actually goes to school. It's nuts.
Okay, well, come on. I'm not that bad.
Mom, you've stopped trying, okay? And you're being all clingy and mean, and it's because you don't have a man in your life.
When I was a photographer in Vietnam, I'd see death.
Oh my God. I would not be surprised if the casting director had a dartboard with the characters and character traits on it, and that's what they used to cast the movie.
Mr. New Year's Eve himself, Ryan Seacrest.
To quote me texting my sister as this happened, Ryan fucking Seacrest!
Anyways, it's time for the rise of the New Year's ball.
Because of course something has to go wrong. So they have 6 hours to fix the New Year's Eve ball in time by midnight, which leads to wacky hijinks, or what my phone corrected it to, silly bikinis.
I'm starting to feel a little bit of pressure. I don't love to feel pressure. Pressure's not great to feel, and it messes with my hair, and I need my hair to be up. Like the ball.
I wanted to write a joke about this aging well or not, if Ryan Seacrest was actually an asshole in person, but I didn't know. So I asked my mom, who's into pop culture, is Ryan Seacrest an asshole? And she responded with, I think he's gay, and that's infinitely funnier than anything I could have written. Anyways, back to rapid fire explanations. Zach calls MILF pathetic in a cute way, so she gives up on their whole deal and just gives him the tickets. Jessica Biel's water breaks.
Taxi! Baby, I don't think we're gonna be able to get one up here.
You're right, we gotta go downstairs where the car's left.
And that was my favorite line in the entire movie. Anyways, we're getting near the end. How is there still an hour left in this movie? Anyways, New Girl and Ashton Kutcher have been having a heart-to-heart in this elevator because they're stuck together for like hours.
But as long as we're making assumptions about each other, why don't I give it a shot? You grew up in suburban, fill in the blank. You went to la-di-da liberal arts school. This whole hatred for New Year's comes from just some boring as hell prom queen who broke your heart on New Year's Eve in high school.
Suburban Maryland. Tufts University. And it was in college when she broke it.
I kid you not, they literally fall in love because he is the most cliche person in existence. This just goes to show you that if you're a writer, maybe you should just quit your job. He may not appear visually, but at least Pitbull appears in the movie's soundtrack. Thank God.
Sorry, I don't speak Spanish. I'm from Ohio.
This line literally describes my relationship with my majority Spanish-speaking audience. And it's time for ADR from actors who are not shown on screen.
What's your name? Scott. I can't find my mom. Who lost this kid? I did. I'm coming, Mom.
I got him. Take it easy.
Careful!
Oh, that's hard.
Watch it. Mom, look at me.
That literally had no consequence on anything. Claire gives a State of the Union address about how the New Year's Eve ball has stopped. And she equates it to how we need to pause and thank each other and acknowledge that we may have made mistakes, but there's always next year. But my favorite thing is that literally everyone on Earth is stopped in their tracks watching the State of the Union. This is like the hugest thing ever. This is like 9/11 too. I love how everyone on Earth is frozen in place watching this happen. And yet, Toshiba! We're dope as hell, Toshiba! I'm zoning out. There's still like 53 minutes of this movie. And I think the movie knows that you're zoning out because it reels you back in with shit like finding out that Zach is Sarah Jessica Parker's brother in this movie. Anyway, Zach's last step of amazing Ingrid for her New Year's resolution is taking her to see the New Year's Eve ball drop. And oh my God, this movie's gonna make me hate everything about the new year.
I'm a New York cop. People, they tell me things.
Of course they'd make Ludacris say a line this stupid.
Time is our friend, but for us there is no end. All you gotta do is baby have a
I swear to God, I'm paying attention. I have spared you from a lot of the musical numbers, but not this one.
Ingrid Withers. All right.
Would you have believed me a few minutes ago if I told you she was gonna fly at some point? She looks dead.
Hey there, iPod.
Oh my God, they named the dog iPod. Matthew Broderick shows up because why not? We're just giving every single character ever shown on screen closure, apparently.
I don't want you to see it happen.
He's not alone.
Hi, Daddy.
I watched this movie in a pitch black hotel room with my parents and sisters sleeping behind me. And this scene almost made me shout out loud, "Oh, fuck you!" So Robert De Niro gets wheeled to the top of the hospital building, which means Robert De Niro has an expiration date. And I have a vivid memory of Robert De Niro dying as the fireworks went off, but apparently that's not shown. That's just some Mandela effect I created. Yeah, he dies right after it drops.
Please welcome Mayor Bloomberg, ladies and gentlemen.
Mayor Bloomberg! This movie feels like the writer took 17 melatonin and then wrote down every part of their dream. So naturally that means there's 20 minutes left in this movie.
If you're here, who's at Times Square?
Good old acquaintance.
I will say the funniest part about the scene is that Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes is advertised in Times Square, meaning that Robert Downey Jr. is the only movie star in this entire universe. I can't put into words how cold my blood went when I saw this. Baby battle ends with Seth Meyers lying to the other family and saying that they had their baby second when they didn't. This movie is just one big where are they now? Also, it's implied that Claire just left her dead father on the roof. That means Robert De Niro's on the roof like this. Oh my God, Sofia Vergara. More kissing! I didn't even discuss their plot, but I'm including it because it sounds like Rhett from Rhett and Link is singing. And we finally have the closing line of the movie.
That's New Year's Eve to me. Hope and a great party.
Thank fucking God! Now, I still find the idea of this movie hilarious, but good Lord, is it a D. This movie is nearly 2 hours long, and it feels way longer than it is because there's like 15 different subplots that are all going on at the same time. And they're not even interesting subplots, too. I didn't even mention some of them, like Halle Berry's husband is in the military, right? And there's a Zoom call at the end of the movie, and when he has to go, there's not just like, oh, like he leaves and then it's just her. No, his webcam cuts to static, and then the monitor just dies. And that's the last we see of her character. Now, I've only done 2 holiday specials at this point. All I know is that this movie is the complete polar opposite of Rhapsody Street Kids, which is a holiday classic.
Great grandma, you always know just what to say.
Meanwhile, this one got nominated for 5 Razzie Awards and lost all of them to Jack and Jill. It was going up against a powerhouse. And before you go, I wanted to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, whatever you celebrate. Thank you for giving me one of the craziest years of my entire life. I catapulted in subscribers from 2,000 to 8,000, which is still ridiculous to think about. I released my debut album, talked to a person from a movie I covered, and had my first 1 million views ever. It means the world to me, and I'm so sincerely sorry for the drought in videos. I have a full-time career at college to my studies and also the film sets I work on. My studies makes me sound like I'm a pretentious asshole. No, this is just the kind of film sets I work on, so these kind of eat up my time. But enough about that. As long as you're here with me, I sincerely appreciate the support and all the new people I've been able to meet from this wacky thing I call Syonide. All your support means the world to me and Kevin. I don't know if he can read, but I know he appreciates it.
I cannot read, but I still have feelings.
And with that, you know the drill if you're still here, which is like 5% of you, if at best. But you know the drill. Make sure to subscribe to help me in my quest to go from underrated to just rated. Don't forget to politely press the like button. As you've smashed the like button so many times, the dislike button got scared and started hiding. But there will be some videos that pop up by my head because if you like this video, you'll certainly like those. Guys, I know I keep saying this, but I mean this. Videos are gonna come out soon, I promise. But until then, I'll see you soon. Have a great New Year's. Thank you for a great 2022. See you for an even better 2023. Bye-bye.
My New Year's resolution is to gain the ability to talk, which I did.